Welcome to my list of the top 10 normal extra deck cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. Starting off the list, we got Crystron Ametrix. Crystron Ametrix is a very powerful Synchro 5, which switches all opponents' special summon monsters to defense position. This allows you to get over some high attack monsters, as their defense might not be as high as their attack. It also has the additional effect where if it's destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon a Crystron from your graveyard. We have Old Entity Hastorr. This is a powerful Synchro 4. If he leaves the field, you can target an opponent's monster, and that opponent's monster's effects are negated, also it cannot attack. Another powerful effect is if this card that's equipped to the opponent's monster leaves the field, you can take control of that opponent's monster. Coming in at number 8, we have number 61 Volcasaurus. A monster made by overlaying two monsters with the effect that allows you to destroy an opponent's monster and inflict damage to your opponent. Although, even though this monster cannot attack directly the turn you use this effect, you can still attack an opponent's monster. I find that its versatility is very useful in an extra deck with a deck that can make any rank 5. Coming in at number 7, we have Pentestag. It's a generic Link 2 with its arrows pointing up and down. Its effect reads that if your linked monster attacks a defense position monster, inflict piercing battle damage. This effect is decent if you can pull it off, mainly only in Link decks, but the main reason it's on this list is because it's a generic 2 with its arrows pointing down, which you can use as a material to go into another Link summon. Number 6 on this list is Shinobi Insect Hagakuremino, which is similar to the last card as it's fairly generic Link monster. It has an effect where if it points to a monster, you or your opponent, it cannot be targeted for attacks. Also, it has good synergy in decks that have insect monsters in it. Funny enough, Maxi, which is a popular card, happens to be an insect, which means that if you happen to pull off this card's effect, you can special summon the copy of Maxi from your graveyard, allowing you to go into even more plays. These plays can include number 5, Berserker of the Tenyi. It's number 5 on this list because it has very high attack and it's a generic 3 monster. This card can only be made by using a Link monster as material, but a very simple way to make it is by having 3 monsters on the field, making a Link 2, and then going into this card. The reason this card is here on the list is simply because of its high attack. Coming in at number 4 is number 82 Heartlandraco. A very powerful rank 4 which allows you to attack your opponent directly, while it also has the effect where it can be targeted for attacks while you control a face-up spell. So simply, if you make this guy and he's the only monster on your field and you happen to have a face-up spell, your opponent cannot target your monster nor can they attack you directly, forcing them to either have a card to destroy your face-up spell or a way to get rid of your monster to card effects. Number 3 is Space Insulator. He has an arrow pointing up and down, and his effect reads that he lowers the attack of a monster he points to by 800. But the main reason this card is so good happens to be his graveyard effect, where if you summon a Link monster, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. The reason this is so good is because it allows you to go into even bigger plays. He gives you more options in the duel and allows you to make even stronger cards. Coming at number 2 is a very popular rank 4 in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. And in this game, I think he's still very good. That card is number 70, Malevolent Sin. This card has the effect to banish an opponent's monster for a turn, and also has an effect where if he attacks, he gains 300 attack and 3 ranks. The reason this card is so powerful is because you can get rid of any problematic monster that can be targeted that your opponent may have. And when this card attacks, it gets stronger and bigger. And finally, before we get to number 1, I'd like to mention some honorable mentions, including Crusadia Regulix, which when he's summoned, you can add a Crusadia spell or trap from your deck to your hand. The reason he didn't make the list was simply because he's not generic, and you need to use a Crusadia monster in order to make him. Next, I'd like to mention 3 of the Invoked Fusion cards, starting with Invoked Rarity. This card has the effect where you can flip a monster face down, which is very powerful. It's similar to a card called Book of Moon, and it has a lot of utility. It can be used during either player's turn. Next, we have a card called Invoke Kaiukas, which has the effect where it can't be targeted or destroyed by opponent's card effects, and it can attack in defense position. This card happens to actually be banned in Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links. I'm very surprised that it's only a normal card in this game. Invoked Purgatrio. This card gains attack up to the number of cards your opponent controls. Also, it can attack all opponent's monsters. Also, it does pierce. Final honorable mention is Red Eye's Black Dragon Sword. Its effect reads, when it's special summoned, you can target another face-up monster on the field, and it gains 1000 attack and 500 attack additional for every dragon monster on the field and in the graveyard. Finally, here we are, number 1, and we have Powercode Talker. This card is the definition of a boss monster. It's a generic Link 3 with an effect to negate an opponent's face-up monster. It also has a very decent battle effect, where it can tribute a card it points to and double its attack, essentially putting it at 4600 attack. With how generic this monster is and how strong it can become, it easily made number 1 on my list. Well, that's it for the cards. Feel free to let me know what you thought of the video, and if you'd like to see me make more videos like this, please let me know. If you agree or disagree with this list, or have any video suggestions, feel free to leave them in the comments. As always, I hope you have a great day or night. Take care. Peace.